I'm a big fan of zero-based budgeting. And what that means is I actually start from zero again and I look at take the data that I have out of my CMMS, hopefully I have one, and I pull how much time I spent in PMs, how much time I spent in projects, how much time I spent in reactive work, and kind of see how many man hours of maintenance I'm going to need. And I look at how much of that I used in overtime, how much of that I used with contractors, and how much of it I just didn't get done. And then with all that, how many parts I went to each one of those. So that it breaks down and says, oh, these parts went to these workers, which was all reactive maintenance. My goal is I'm going to try and shrink that. And if I shrink this, I'm going to expand the PMs. And then my next goal would be I'm going to do this internally with less overtime and less contractors. And the way I'd attack that would be I would attack the contractors that came in for surge work that weren't anything specialized, like they weren't specialized labor. They were just extra hands when I didn't have enough bodies. I would work to try and shrink that, creating more condition-based maintenance, more automated maintenance, more AI-based maintenance, right? So these things that we do with the new technology, I would attack reactive work in that fashion. I would start with the contractors I used for that reactive work and shrink down that utilization. Then I would work at shrinking my overtime to an appropriate level. Don't ever get rid of it because you're not going to be able to, and you shouldn't try, because there's a cost benefit analysis you do whether it's good for this many hours of overtime versus another added headcount. And that's a topic for another day. It's a larger conversation to have. But if you don't do that, you end up getting these kind of peanut butter numbers that go into this one. You have a GL account, and it's all MRO or R&M spending, and you really don't know where it all went. It's just a big number. And if it's MRO, you have operational supplies into that too, and it's kind of a big gray cloud, and nobody knows where all the money went. So typically they look at, well, what was your downtime? How much unplanned downtime do we have? Because even if without a good CMMS, people still track that, right? That's one of the big things. So if it was unplanned downtime, the MRO, they'll do a swag, it's 85% of MRO spend. So if MRO is up 30% this year, it's got to be because of bad maintenance. So what are you going to do about making the machines not break? And if you don't have the budget correct, if you don't have your budget stratified right, you can't tell them where the money went. And you'll constantly be getting blamed trying to chase your tail to reduce cost. You may reduce cost doing the wrong thing. You may just cut out contractors. You may start buying cheaper parts. You may start stretching the PM frequencies. You don't have the data to do analysis, to do true reliability analysis, to do even maintainability analysis. You're going to put engineers in the nut house because they're chasing things that they want to fix it for you, but they don't know how because they're just chasing anecdotal information that you gave them. All of that impacts your budget, all of it. So if you don't stratify and you don't do zero based every year, you're kind of just throwing darts at a dartboard, right? Or the whole bucket of poo on the wall and to see what sticks.